Okay, so how badly wrong can this go? Hopefully not too bad. So yes, that's not a lie. My name is indeed Mary McGill. I am doing a PhD in International Cultural Studies here in NUIG, and yes, I am researching the selfie phenomenon. So let's do a bit of research. Why not? Let's kick things off as we mean to go on. Is there anybody here who has never ever taken a selfie? Throw up your hand. Okay, keep the hands up. What's your name?
Karina.
Karina! Sorry, no, Karina. Karina, can I ask why? Why have you never taken a selfie?
I don't know, it's different. I've never known what I do. I don't like photos of myself.
Are you afraid to break the internet?
Yeah.
International in the West? Yeah. So, but you never really thought about it? It's not on your radar?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, anybody else ever take a selfie? Yes! I've never seen you before, Amanda.
Never.
No. You've never taken a selfie?
No, I didn't actually own a proper camera till the age of 20, so I guess at that point it wasn't really, didn't really know how to use one or got one with it.
And do you feel you're missing something from your life?
Yes, not entirely.
Well, we tend to talk about the selfie as if it's a very new phenomenon, but strictly speaking that's not true, because there's a lot of evidence to suggest that as soon as people had the means to make themselves visible, they set about doing that. So you look at cave paintings where people were literally scratching into the stone, drawing little stick figurines of themselves, and you come up to the late 19th century and early 20th century where cameras and photography were beginning to be more widely practiced, and you've probably seen the very somber looking black and white early selfies of people who, you know, took pictures of themselves in front of mirrors. And they're not like us, you know, these are quite spooky images to look at. They're not anticipating people looking at them. There's no big thumbs up or smiles or duck faces. These are very serious looking selfies. Because photography back then was a serious business. It was, you know, almost magical, this ability to take a picture and capture something that, you know, before would have been considered the realm of magic. So yeah, so we tend to think of the selfie as new, but that's not strictly the case. This compulsion to make ourselves visible is entirely human, and philosophers have puzzled about it for a very long time, and they've come up with all kinds of reasons, some of which I'm sure you're very familiar with. Memories, they're very precious to us. Narcissism, you know, vanity, not so precious but still very much part of us. Proving to ourselves that we exist, right? You know, we only ever see ourselves in the eyes of other people, and we want to know what they see, and taking a picture of yourself is a really good way of doing that and proving that you're not a ghost. But of course, one of the big reasons that we're motivated to take pictures of ourselves, and indeed the world around us, is one we're not very good at thinking about or spending much time with, and that is death. Right? I hope you've heard of it. If not, please wait till after the gig to Google it and spin it downer. Because on a cognitive level, right, we all know we're here unlimited time. That's how it works, right? But we spend a lot of that time running around going, you know, buying all the things, taking all the pictures, trying to preserve what we cannot preserve, trying to outrun the inevitable, while death is down the back at the bar, having a pint and having a fag and looking around going, these are absolutely ridiculous. So when you study something like the selfie, and I look at the selfie in a lot of different ways, but in particular I look at the way it's been cast as something that has major appeal to young women. But when you're dealing with something like the selfie, you're working within the realm of popular culture. You know, and you're going to hear from a lot of great scientists and psychological people here tonight, you know, and that's all well and good. But people genuinely don't encounter people like me very often who are working in the realm of popular culture. And what tends to happen is they think, oh, you're doing a PhD. What are you studying? And you say, well, I'm studying popular culture. And they look at you and they go, and they ask the inevitable question. They ask, sure, why are you doing that? And sure, why are you doing that? Here in Ireland is, of course, code for sounds like you're full of notions. And as an Irish person, of course, notions are the absolute worst thing that you could ever have. So full disclosure, my name is indeed Mary McGill. I am bursting with notions. This isn't in fact nightclub or Bright Club, it is in fact an intervention. And I want to thank you all most sincerely for being here with me tonight. Really appreciate it. Give yourselves a big round of applause.
Take a selfie.
Woo-hoo! In a minute, that's my piece of resistance. But I want to say to those Philistines who say that popular culture isn't worth studying, you're wrong. You're wrong. Popular culture is actually incredibly powerful. Not least of which because it is driven by stories. And stories are very, very powerful to us human beings. The American essayist Joan Didion once remarked that we tell ourselves stories in order to live. And that's very true. We understand ourselves and the world and our place in it through stories, all right? But there are problems with stories. The first one being that very often we don't get to choose the ones which most profoundly shape our lives. You know, we're born into them, we inherit them, we have to learn how to navigate them as we grow up. And another problem with stories, like anything else that's made by people, is that they have good elements and they have very, very bad elements. Bound up in stories are all kinds of flaws, presumptions, labels, stereotypes, double standards. It's a lot of, you know, pretty troublesome words. I'm trying not to say the word problematic because it's such an academic thing to say, but I'm going to say it. They're problematic. Okay? So you need to ask and not be afraid to ask serious, serious questions about the stories that you're given. And of course, one of the most powerful sources of stories in this world that we have is the media. Ah, yes, the media, the beast that is the media. And when it comes to selfies, you would think that the only people taking selfies are young women. It's where men never took selfies. Is there a man in the room who's never taken a selfie? Yeah, okay, there we go. That's proved something. I'll footnote that somewhere. It's great. Thank you very much. And of course, it is certain sections of the media who are obsessed, shall we say, with what they consider to be the outrageous behaviour of young women in the selfie. And of course, it's the very same sections of media who are obsessed with this outrageous behaviour who themselves have no problem at all, filling their newspapers and their websites chock full of stories and images of distressed and half undressed young women. What a surprise. I'm sure you're all shocked to learn that. But while this is all going on, they are of course creating stories. And I'm watching these stories as a researcher. And they are making me want to tear the skin off my face because they are making all kinds of claims. Okay, all kinds of claims, and people are consuming these stories and headlines and snippets and all the rest of it, and it's getting into the ether and it's getting into people's minds, and whether we like it or not, it shapes how we think about things. So they're making all these outlandish claims that have no basis in evidence whatsoever. And I'm sure all the researchers here tonight, no matter what discipline you're working in, you know that you cannot just go out there and claim something without being able to substantiate it. It is 101. It is the most basic thing. But these stories get trotted out about young women and their outrageous behaviour, and you go looking for the evidence. And where the evidence is provided, so often it is a case of literally somebody somewhere kind of sort of thinks this might maybe be true, so we're just going to lash it up there on the website, stick it in the lifestyle section, and away we go. There we are, that's it, you know. I mean, that's literally the level that you're operating at. And to give you a flavour, if songs don't fall over, of the type of thing that I'm talking about, I've sourced a few select headlines for your enjoyment here this evening. These were just published in the last couple of weeks. I did this so you didn't have to. You're very lucky. So here we go. Right, first one. How selfies are damaging your skin. Oh, listen up, ladies. Woman 26 who takes 50 photos a day is shocked to discover that the light from her mobile phone is aging. I know. Is aging her prematurely. Can we get an yeah, I know, I'm devastated. She is nothing. She is taxi for that lady. Like, it's over, you know, and death's down the back going, you can stuff yourself full of Botox all you want, the game is up. Yeah, and as we know, right, that is literally the worst thing that could happen to a woman. Aging, imagine. It's just awful. Terrible. Yeah, what a surprise. Next one. I take 200 selfies a day. Wow. This is really groundbreaking stuff. Selfie Addict 23 spends 5 hours, and that 5 hours is capitalised, so you need to, you know, be really shocked at that 5 hours a night editing photos to find one perfect shot. But here's the clincher. This might be the most selfie addicted woman in the world. I don't know about you, but I can't live with that lack of clarity. Is this woman, or is this woman not, the most selfie addicted woman in the world? There's a PhD thesis waiting to happen. That's amazing.
She must be.
She must be. Look, you know, there you go. Give that man a PhD. Job done. And finally, this may have been a mistake. Actually, this isn't funny at all. This may have been a mistake, says Bristol woman who amputated left arm and replaced it with selfie stick.
127 selfies.
Yeah, well, one of these may not be true. And I'm going to leave it to you smart cookies to figure out which one it is. Now, that I talk about double standards and I talk about the way certain sections of media carry on, but you can walk into an art gallery or a museum here or anywhere in the world and be inundated straight away with countless sculptures and photographs and paintings of women half naked or fully nude, giving you the glad eye. But the media has no problem with those images. They're fine, they're not outrageous because they've been created by famous dead men. So good man, Manet, fair play Picasso, but when Dimfna from down the road wants to show off her new lipstick, this is somehow outrageous, somehow outlandish. And the famous art philosopher and historian John Berger, he wrote a lot of very interesting stuff, but one thing he observed in his studies of Western art was that men act and women appear. And parts of the tabloid press seem addicted to that very archaic idea of gender roles. And it's literally, no, men take the pictures. And all of these young women taking pictures of themselves and admiring them and admiring pictures that other young women have taken of themselves is somehow heralding the apocalypse. The end is nigh. Because it's men who take the pictures, it's men who do the technology. That's just how it is. And you can be assured that somewhere out there they have a stack of really dodgy but conclusive scientific research that proves that if you let a woman near a camera phone, or if you let a woman near a computer, or if you let a woman drive a car, her ovaries will fall out her ears. They will stand over that claim, they will say it is true, don't you know. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as you ponder what it would be like to rip off your left arm and replace it with a selfie stick, I implore you to do two things. First of all, please don't believe everything you read in the papers. And second of all, be a little less judgmental the next time you see a young woman pulling a duck face. Thank you.